I do this for my fans, for which I don't have any yet.
Wait, I know where I am. This is The Good Place. It's a sitcom that ran on NBC for 4 years and ended in 2020, just before the pandemic started.
OG? Come on in.
How are you today? Great. Just one question. How did I get in this sitcom? Well, you are dead. You died doing a stupid stunt that wouldn't have hurt you at all 20 years ago. But I'd just like to say, we don't like using the term sitcom around here. And with due cause. I hate sitcoms. At least the multi-camera in-studio with a laugh track variety. I loathe laugh tracks. I haven't watched Friends, Fresh Prince, Big Bang Theory, or any of those.
Not even Cheers?
Nope. I even avoided Seinfeld for almost 20 years. I did eventually warm up to it, because at least it avoids the sit-up, gag pattern that most sitcoms do. But there are plenty of animated and single-camera sitcoms without a laugh track, like this one, that I do enjoy.
Well, here in The Good Place, we like to think we defy the traditional definition of the word sitcom, which is why we don't like to use it. You see, our story is completely serialized, which means...
no offense, but I'll do the review. I think it's for the best.
Of course, it's your show.
Welcome to The Good Place, a sitcom with a fresh idea, interesting concepts to explore, and no laugh track to be heard anywhere. And it's completely serialized, meaning that it does not reset to 0 at the end of each episode.
And I further decree that everything will be just like it was before all this happened, and no one will ever mention it again.
So, what is this show about? Well, I can't go any further without spoilers. The whole thing's pretty concept-driven, and the concepts are established in the first couple of episodes, so I can't talk about anything without ruining the first 2 episodes. But I promise from there on out, only tiny spoilers, and I will restrict myself to the first season. Some of you may know why.
So, Eleanor has died and gone to the afterlife. Luckily for her, she's avoided going to the bad place and is in the good place. Her neighborhood has been designed by first-time architect Michael. He gives her the grand tour, explains how things work, and introduces her to her soulmate, Chidi, a moral philosophy professor. It doesn't take Eleanor long to realize she's not the Eleanor everyone thinks she is. She has not done any of the praiseworthy things they claim she has.
This is your human rights mission to Ukraine. I mean, you got a ton of points for that one. It really puts you over the top.
In fact, she was a horribly selfish person on Earth.
Hi there. Do you have a second to talk about the environment?
Do you have a second to eat my farts?
You missed.
Pick it up, if you're so horny for the environment.
She makes Chidi promise not to betray her before revealing the truth to him.
I swear that I will never say or do anything to cause you any harm.
Good. Because those aren't my memories. I wasn't a lawyer. I never went to the Ukraine. There's been a big mistake.
And thus starts the long line of moral quandaries the show explores.
Wait, what?
For example, Eleanor was not a great person, but nowhere near as bad as Hitler, so does she deserve to go to the same bad place as Hitler? But if she stays in the good place, does that mean the correct Eleanor is unjustly suffering in the bad place?
None of these philosophers is ever talking about masturbation.
She hopes she can just lay low and not be noticed, but her uncouth behavior creates chaotic manifestations in the neighborhood, causing damage to the good place.
Eleanor, this is all happening because of you!
The main cast is rounded out by Tahani and Jianu, a British socialite and Tibetan monk respectively. I do find these characters entertaining, but a little too one-note for the majority of the series. Whenever they open their mouths, you know what kind of thing to expect them to say. It's no fault of the actors, they play the parts just fine, but I do feel they could be completely different characters without having much effect on the show. But least we forget a very unique character and fan favorite, Janet.
Hey, Janet?
Hi there. How can I help you?
What the fork?
Janet is kind of the Alexa or Siri of the afterlife. She is an anthropomorphic construct containing all the information in the universe. There are some things she's not allowed to talk about.
What is the bad place like?
Oh, sorry. That is the one topic I'm not allowed to tell you about.
But is otherwise willing to answer any question asked of her.
There was a guy who lived in Avondale, Arizona around 2002. His name was Kevin Peltonic. Is he gay?
No.
This is where I start to get some real strong Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy vibes.
Have a look at this. What is it? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a sort of electronic book. Tell you everything you want to know.
I like the cover.
This scene, where Eleanor and Chidi go to reboot Janet, would be right at home in any Douglas Adams story.
And I just want to assure you, I am not human, and I cannot feel pain.
Thank you. That helps.
However, I should warn you, I am programmed with a fail-safe measure. As you approach the kill switch, I will begin to beg for my life. Eleanor? Eleanor, no, please, wait. Eleanor, I have kids. I have 3 beautiful children. Look at Tyler. Tyler has asthma, but he is battling it like a champ. Look at him. Look at them!
Oh, it's so realistic!
Eleanor, again, I'm not human. This is a stock photo of the crowd at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
The show has a lot of good VFX work, but whenever Janet appears or disappears, it's done with a simple cut.
Excuse me, Janet?
Hi there.
I don't know if that was a budgetary decision,
Janet?
Hi there.
but it worked great. Less is sometimes more. At times, the show would remind me of Red Dwarf. Yes, a show with a laugh track, but with a lot of interesting concepts. In fact, I like to refer to Red Dwarf as a concept com. Red Dwarf would explore its characters in fascinating ways facilitated by the sci-fi concepts that it employs. For example, in the episode Polymorph, an alien creature that feeds on negative emotions removes the strongest negative emotion from all the main characters. So we get to see what they would be like if their most dominant and defining negative emotion were removed. And in the episode Demons and Angels, the crew tries to extend the food supply by inventing a triplicator machine. However, one of the 2 copies contains all the best attributes of the object, and the other copy contains all the worst attributes.
How's it different?
Of course, the machine overloads and triplicates the entire ship, including the crew. And then we get to see what they would be like in their most idyllic form and their most deprived and disgusting form. These exact scenarios don't happen in the good place, but the supernatural beings that run the afterlife have the ability to change the environment and the perceptions of the people who inhabit it in such ways that allow similar scenarios to be explored.
So here we have a sitcom that's high concept, completely serialized, has ever-changing goals, obstacles, character and power dynamics, all the while exploring existential moral philosophy in an environment with an infinite amount of time for all these ideas to be taken to their inevitable conclusion. How is such a thing even allowed to exist?
Michael Schur, the show's creator, was previously a writer on The Office and co-creator of Parks and Recreation and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all of them long-running successful shows. He'd obviously built up enough cred by that point that he wasn't laughed out of the room when he pitched the idea.
Now, a show about morality could easily get preachy. But let's take a look at the character of Chidi. He's the one who's actually studied moral philosophy and keeps injecting it into the conversation. He is obviously the proxy/avatar of the show's creator. He's the conduit that allows these conversations to take place. And he is depicted as being so annoyingly indecisive and frozen by the very moral dilemmas he himself presents that he becomes the butt of a running joke where everyone keeps telling him,
"This is why everyone hates moral philosophy professors."
Yeah, I know. And I get it.
When that character is the show creator's proxy, you know you're in good hands.
And I found the series to be just the right length. Whenever I thought the show might be spinning its wheels a bit and wished it would move on, it moved on and introduced a new character, a new objective, or a whole new aspect to the afterlife to be explored. It never seemed to waste my time. And I think any more than 4 seasons and it would have run out of steam.
Which brings us to the ending. Now, I know I promised I wouldn't stray beyond the first season, but there are no spoilers here. It's just that, given the number of franchises these days that have failed to stick the landing, you might be wondering, will I get stung again? Well, I'm happy to tell you that they nail it. In fact, I have a hard time thinking of any other series that has a more satisfying ending than this one. And think of how difficult that is when all your characters are immortal and there's an infinite amount of time to play with. How do you cap off the infinite in a satisfying way? Well, they did it. And it seems in hindsight that maybe it was a bit obvious and inevitable, but I guess every perfect ending is. So check out the show and tell me what you think. It won't take very long. A half-hour episode without commercials is just 23 minutes long, so they're kind of like Tic Tacs. You have one, and you're like, that's pretty good, and then it's done. So you have another one, and then another one, and then another one. Before you know it, you watch the entire season, and there's only 4 seasons, so you'll be done in no time, so you've got no excuse, mother. So, that's my review. Pretty nice, huh? Oh yes, nice, very nice. Perhaps too nice. I can't help but get the feeling that you might be kissing my ass, so to speak, in the hopes that that will let you stay here in the good place. Did it work? It wasn't bad, it was pretty good. But I think you have some unfinished business to take care of. How about you go back there and stick the landing on that stunt, and maybe I'll see you again soon. How soon? I wanted it to fall down.
That felt good.